Every single one will be impacted by this if it passes. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the Fair Tax Act. Keep in mind this bill has been worked on since 1999. It's been talked about 3 times. It's never gotten this far. It has never even got to the point where it was written. Okay, so this is new. This is kind of new. Basically what the Fair Tax Act is, the headlines that you've probably been reading are going to be they abolish the IRS and put a national consumption tax on, right? And that the abolishing the IRS thing, all for it.
Yep.
100%. Screw the IRS. It's known to be corrupt. Here's the problem that I have with this act right now. Not with the act itself, but with the way culture is, right? Because it was written and put out by Republicans, there will automatically be the opposite end that will say, I don't want it. Just because it was written by Republicans, keep in mind that happens the other way too. Just because Democrats write something, then some Republicans will say, I don't want it. It's written by a Dem.
They don't even look at the facts.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't even look. This should be a bipartisan issue because everyone pays taxes.
Yeah.
There's death and taxes. That's it. So you should look into this. So that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for today. I read the entire bill and some other discussions about it.
Spread some light on it.
So that way I'm going to put it in words and how it actually impacts you as an American taxpayer. And how, in my opinion, keep in mind, I'm right wing. This act might be the biggest disgrace I've ever read. This shit sucks. This shit actually sucks. Okay.
Uncle Sam with the propositions.
So I'm gonna don't let my opinion sway you though, but we'll get there. Okay. Basically, what abolishing the IRS is going to do is get rid of a federally funded third party getting your money. So what does that mean? You're going to get more money on your paychecks because if you look at your pay stubs, you'll see taxes, you'll see Social Security and Medicare or Medicaid, whatever it says, something along those lines. You will no longer get income tax taken out of your paycheck. So you will be taking home more money because of that. Yeah. That being said, also, it gets rid of the the entire act of paying taxes if there's no IRS. You no longer have an April deadline. You no longer have all of these places that, like H&R Block or TurboTax, that pay taxes for you. Those places will no longer exist unless they change because there's no need for you to pay taxes anymore. That's because of this national consumption tax that goes along with this Fair Tax Act.
Good shit, I hope. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, hopefully. So that sounds good, right? That's what the headlines say.
Yeah.
You actually read the bill, here's what happens.
Oh, no.
I should say before, the purpose, there's a bunch of reasons why that they gave on the bill, why this should be enacted, of course. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's broken down into Americans pay taxes multiple times. You get income tax taken out. Then, depending on the state you live in, you're getting sales tax taken out on certain items, tobacco tax, alcohol tax, that sort of thing. So you're basically being taxed on the same money, chain taxes. So that's what they're trying to get rid of with this. They don't want your money being taxed multiple times because you're getting the specific percentage taken out of income taxes depending on where you live, and then the sales tax taken out as well. So now you're being taxed on the same money.
Huh.
And their thought process with this is by adding a national consumption tax, right? So basically what that is anything you buy, you'll be taxed on. Anything. There'll be a higher sales tax. It's basically a national sales tax. So rather than in Nevada, for example, on certain items we go to it's a sales tax of $8.75. It's boosted. It's higher. You're just paying taxes on all the items that you buy.
On everything.
On everything. But their theory for that is that now you're only being taxed once on what you buy. And you're only being charged on stuff you buy. So it promotes investment, promotes saving. That's their thought process. Okay? Because here's the truth though, okay? This tax that you're going to be seeing on items, 23%. 23%.
Jeez.
That turns like a $5, well, Big Macs aren't $5 anymore. Let's go with $8 Big Mac. That turns that Big Mac alone into a $10 Big Mac just because of the tax. That's 25%. So that's slightly above, but you understand it.
Yeah.
And according to the bill, it allows certain states and certain items to be taxed even higher than that 23%.
Let them eat bread.
That's what I'm saying. So now you're basically you have more money in your paycheck, but not really, because you're still buying stuff, right?
Yep.
You may buy less stuff, but you're still buying stuff. You can't get away with not buying things.
23% is just crazy.
And according to a study,
Oh,
yeah, 23% is absurd, but that's like their baseline. That's what they're basing it on right now. This is what the bill says is 23% sales tax. There was a study done. This was before. This study basically took the consumer spending habits of Americans and kind of put this 23% tax on it. Keep in mind, if this bill actually went through, I think consumer habits would go down. But according to the study, 90% of Americans would actually pay more in taxes. The top 1% would be the only people that get less of taxes, that get affected less. 90% of households would actually pay more in taxes. The other 9%, not the top 1%, the other 9 would break even on taxes, so you wouldn't see a change. So if you are anyone normal, basically 90%, you're paying more in taxes with this system.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, actually we'll get there, okay? The other thing that is added in this bill is what's called prebates, okay? Basically, that's the government paying you back monthly regardless of your income. They pay you back monthly in what they estimate to be essential purchases. So the government pays you back for essential purchases to kind of pay you back on the sales tax on stuff that you're going to need. Thanks, ESPN. Christ.
Hey, great sound for right now.
But what do they consider essential? I don't know. That's the thing. What does the government consider even essential? Because you can make the argument that nothing is essential.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's stupid. What does that even mean? What does that word essential mean? So there's a few thoughts that I just want to spill real quick. One, I'm against this. Okay, this act in
After I heard the 23%,
Yeah.
I was like,
In the sense it is,
wait a minute.
I might be able to get behind it if you lower the 23%.
the way it is, I'm against this act in general. Okay, I'm not against abolishing the IRS though. Fuck the IRS. So what I'm thinking is their point here is abolishing the IRS and then putting this national consumption tax because you're basically forced to tax somehow. You have to tax. But I think there's other ways you can do it than doing it this way. If you want to abolish the IRS and put something else in.
Yeah.
Because the IRS is known to be the most corrupt fucking thing ever. So, and there's studies that actually came out with this, that got promoted with this, I should say. And the study basically said the IRS preys on poor people. Like the high class people, the IRS didn't give two shits. They were preying on poor people. So it's like, okay, abolish the IRS, sure, but maybe not in this way, because now you're really not benefiting anyone. Actually, you're hurting them.
It's like choose your poison, you know?
Yeah, I feel like there's got to be another way to do this.
See, I guess you do have to tax, but like if it's not, if we can get way low with the taxing part of it, then I might be able to get behind it.
Here's the thing, right?
That's a crazy amount. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the 23%. I'm still stuck.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. People always say like, oh, we need taxes to pay for stuff. They don't do shit with your tax dollars. I'm sorry to tell you. That road that's been broken outside your house, yeah, what are your taxes going for that? You know what I mean? Like, your taxes aren't actually doing shit.
It's been months.
Yeah. So it's like, so you get taxed on this just to, but it's like, okay. The other thing that doesn't make sense to me is the whole prebate thing in the essential. That sounds like a loophole to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like a way for them to just never give you a prebate on anything, or that prebate. I don't know why they called it that. That sounds like weirdly sexual, if that makes sense.
Oh no, it does. That's why I almost laughed when I first heard it.
But
so
why not just put different percentage of taxes on different items that you consider essential, so that way you don't even have to be worried about dishing out money.
Yeah.
You just say, okay, milk and eggs, for example, that only has a 10% tax. But designer clothes, we're going to keep the 23. I don't know why you're making it so much more complicated by adding this rebate thing in And it's like, why couldn't you just put different percentages on everything?
Yeah.
There's a whole lot to this that like is just kind of weird to me.
Freaking $1,000 purchase. Yeah. That comes out to like 1,400.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's a lot. But the theory is like, well, you have more on your paychecks. But it's like, not really, because if the study is true that 90% of Americans are actually paying more than, okay, now you're not actually getting more out of your paychecks. It just looks better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which case, that's all people really care about. It's just what it looks like in the bank for the moment. But
yeah, that's a whole nother issue.
Okay, so I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything. So, the essential part, it does sound like a loophole because like, what are you going to consider essential? Is it going to be the same like when we went into the hard lockdown and only essential workers was still working?
Yeah.
Is it still that same theory applied? Or is it completely different now? In which case, what the hell did we do during lockdown for?
But like, the thing is with the essential workers on lockdown, you know what you're essential.
Yeah.
Right? With this, you can make the argument, no, you don't need milk, you have water.
Yeah.
So now milk isn't essential.
True.
You don't need eggs, you have this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what is actually essential? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
And who's deciding that? Is it the government? Is it the states?
True.
I don't know.
True. I guess it just allows for more control over things, I guess, and just like, but it's
That's what
still,
they always want.
The whole purpose is to reduce the tax code because right now, if you look at the fucking tax code the IRS has, it's like 400 pages. It's like ridiculous. They want to just get rid of all of it and just say you're getting taxed on everything that you buy.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier, but it's like that goes back to the whole thing, like you just said, with people just caring about what it looks in the bank. Because people don't know economics. If you actually care at all about your money, you realize the number in the bank doesn't mean anything. So, or the money that's coming to you from your paycheck literally doesn't mean anything. Because if you spend it all, then it doesn't mean shit. So it's like people that don't know economics will find this easier, but it's like just because it's easier doesn't mean it's better.
Right.
Especially in the state it is right now, in my opinion. Which is why I don't think it's even going to get past the House.
It probably.
Actually, the only reason it will get past the House is because it's Republican majority right now. But I feel like even some Republicans would not be for this because it's like, I don't know.
That's just a crazy bill.
I'm mostly for Republican bills, like
Yeah.
a vast majority of the time. And I read this, I was like, yeah, this is really bad. This is not good.
Yeah, especially with the whole rebate thing. That is so stupid.
Because then you're getting
There's
whole
a lot more refining that needs to be done with this bill. A lot.
Yeah.
Before you could even push that.
Keep in mind,
I
I am not a lawyer. So
fair.
some of the legal jargon they were using in this, I was like, yeah, I can't even wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
This is just like kind of what I got from reading it, but then also getting a bunch of different sources. Like, here's the summary of the bill, basically, like some non-biased. I wasn't on fucking Fox or CNN. I was on like some of the websites that like actually debate and stuff.
Yeah.
They probably have a bias as well, but you understand the point.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
I don't know. This is a huge thing. That's why I wanted to talk about it today, because like this won't pass. No way. But in the event it did, in some parallel universe,
Let's hope we're not in that parallel universe.
then like this would affect everyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely everyone, because it's taxes. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, it's just the lesser of two evils. You just gotta pick your poison, like you said.
It's like 1/5 of your.
23%.
Damn.
That hurt my soul.
And according to the
Jeez.
study, I didn't want to talk about this like in the main part of it, but according to the study as well, like if you actually calculate it, certain things would actually be like pushing 67% taxes, like based on consumer habits and stuff, like with medication and stuff. Like medication for certain habits that people have, it would end up being like 20 or like 67% tax on it.
Oh hell no!
Insane. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Honestly,
I'm gonna be honest, the way you were slamming on that desk, I thought the string broke.
I
was like,
Shoot. But no, honestly, I appreciate you breaking that down, because honestly, I don't know that much about taxes. I probably should. I need to look more into it. But that broke it down enough for me to understand.
Yeah.
And I would say, I was behind in the beginning. It's just that tax number's high.
Moral of the story before we move on to the next segment.
Yeah.
abolish the IRS.
Yes.
Not in this way.
Yeah.
Fair.